I am the Cryptochrome here with Crypto Love.
Boom shakalaka, what's
There
going
it
on,
is.
everybody?
I was going to do it for him. We'll be right back after this brief disclaimer. Stick around. We're going to start some shit. And we're back, Mr. Crypto Love.
What is up? What is up? What is up?
So yeah, just to let everybody know, we're running a little late, and it's my fault because I'm kind of an idiot. And Mr. Crypto Love's been trying to help me to get my system working so that we can both be live streaming on both our channels at the same time. But because I'm running this big wonky camcorder into a video capture card, it's only letting me have one video feed. So we're trying to like rig this up so that we can still kind of work it out. But those people, some people are going to watch it with a few second delay. He and I are in real time, but everything's a little weird. And it looks like I'm getting dropped frames. That must mean Windows is trying to force me to do a shitty update again.
Yeah, but I gotta say that HD video camera looks sweet. You look like very high quality HD video there, so.
I need all the help I can get to try and look presentable, man. I even shaved for you today.
Oh, man, clean as can be. I can't say the same. I'm going kind of scruffy until, yeah, Bitcoin's high up.
I dig it, though. I dig it. You had that beard in New York, and I was like, wow, you look a lot different. I haven't seen this beard yet.
Dude, we gotta tell everyone the story there because that was the funniest thing. We were at the Crypto Influencer Summit, and I see you, and you are gigantic. You're like, I don't even know, 6.5 feet tall?
7 feet tall.
Oh my, 7 feet. Jeez, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so tall. And you're like, oh my gosh, your hands are normal size.
Did I say that? I must have been drunk already. Well, in video, your hands look ginormous. And it's like the way your camera is, your hands look like they're, this big. So, yeah, that was funny.
That was absolutely awesome.
That was a pretty cool event, though.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, it was a shame they had to change it so often at like last minute, but it worked out kind of. I think next year they'll probably get it. The only shame was you couldn't hear everyone talking. So,
yeah. Well, there was so much stuff kind of mixed up, man, and it was kind of sad. But I mean, he basically had to change the venue, change everything within 24 hours. Yeah. And, and I guess the people lied and said, hey, we have a liquor license, but they didn't. And so the cops showed up. They're like, you can't serve alcohol. I mean, it was a mess. Yeah. So, and I talked to him. I'm like, look, you did the absolute best you could with what you had. So, no shame at all.
Yeah, I'm just writing a message to let everyone know they can watch the synced audio on your channel.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically anyone watching who's saying that there's huge audio lag on my channel, I do apologize. This is just the way we had to rig it up to make it work. If you want to watch it without audio lag, just down in the description there's a link to Crow's channel, and you can just go watch that on his channel. You'll be able to see it without audio lag. Or you can just close your eyes and just imagine us, two handsome bearded gentlemen talking about crypto. So up to you.
Yeah, it really does kind of suck. We'll have to do this around. We'll have to do this again in reverse, and maybe when the bull run starts, if it starts, is it going to start this year, or are we going to be waiting a couple years? Like, I'm honestly I'm getting a little skeptical here.
Yeah, I definitely am too. I think it's kind of towing the line because it's been sideways for so long. Like, the $6,000, $6,500 level is just like sideways, sideways, sideways. I think eventually it'll take off.
I think, so I was going back and I was looking through 2017 into 2018. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got time. You know what I mean? We really do have time. Like, I didn't even get into crypto. I've only been in since November of last year.
No way.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
I just got started in November, dude. It's been like,
Dude, you like blew up.
8 months. Yeah. Oh, I just started. So, and things have been just kind of going nuts since then.
Yeah.
But the first, hell, man, that first 30 days that I've kind of like truly discovered crypto, I can't even tell you how crazy my wife thought I was losing my fucking mind. Like, all I did was read white papers that made no sense at the time, try to figure out how to build a mining rig. I spent like 2 weeks trying to build that damn thing and configure it and dial it in and everything. I was just every waking hour I had, I shit you not, every waking hour for a solid 30 days. If I was not sleeping or driving to the mortgage office I was working at, I was studying crypto. I told my wife, I'm not letting this shit pass me by like I did the .coms and everything else. And so yeah, man. I mean, but yeah, I only since November, and so watching that, a lot of what's kind of happening now, I see that it's a lot of what happened last year, the year before, and it's all this doubt, and it's not, and everybody says the same thing. Everybody who's already been through it, they keep saying, okay, once everybody has lost all hope and the market is just taking the worst shit of its life, that's when things get better.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. Maybe you kind of have to, get rid of the entire population and let the trees grow. I don't know how that works.
I mean, it's just shaking out all the FOMOers, like all the people who bought in at $18,000 or $20,000 and had no faith in it anyways. It's kind of shaking them out. But also another thing that I found really helpful is just looking at the charts on a logarithmic scale instead of like a regular scale. Because on a logarithmic, what happened just recently looks like nothing. So it's just a straight line on that.
Right. Well, the one thing that I'm I'm going to start digging it up is I was reading some stuff on TradingView, and because I've been getting more active on there, I finally set up a pro account. I used to use Coinigy for everything, and I still like it, but TradingView allows you to have more tools and more things going, at once, indicators and all this other stuff. And they have indicators that I can't find anywhere else. One of which is the one that Tone Vase uses on all of his stuff. I forget what it's called, but it basically counts down. You're trying to find, a wave of 9 consecutive patterns, above a certain trading point, and then once you hit 9, it's due for a solid reversal, and then you want to go 9 the other way, that sort of thing. And I'm kind of learning that science daily. I'm working on it. But anyway, and I was reading this thing when he was talking like, look, man, institutional money is kind of already getting in, man. It's all over the counter deals. They're big over the counter deals that they're not reflected on exchanges anywhere. So, and they're doing that so that they're not pushing the price up on themselves.
Right.
Which to me is kind of bullshit. Like, the market is the market. And if there's all this kind of secretive, it's not secretive, but, and I get it, like, anybody that's filthy rich, they don't want to push the value of the market up on themselves, and they're continuing to buy in and get their own positions established. But at the same time, it is kind of bullshit for all the retail traders that kind of have to sit around and we're waiting for something to happen. It's kind of already happened, and a lot of people don't even realize it.
Yeah, but even though some of the big parties are getting in, really it's only the very rich people who are getting in with those OTC deals right now, because the other part of the institutional thing is like the Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all those people who are going to start setting up the trading desks to where everyone who has like a 401k can start investing in Bitcoin and cryptos with their 401k. And I think that's going to accumulate a lot more money in the markets than just a few of these big OTC deals. But it makes sense because these big investors, they're not buying Bitcoin at a premium. They're waiting till it's at the bottom. They're going to throw as much FUD at the market as they can to get the bottom to the price as low as it can, and then they'll buy the OTC deals.
The thing of it is, that what always worries me is it's how far do you bend that stick before it breaks? I believe that everything that's going on is just strong manipulation across the board. It's ridiculous what's happening with these short funds and the ETFs and all, I don't know, all this different stuff that's going on, and there are more opening and there are more starting up. And it's like, okay, so the SEC starting to look into this stuff and they're probing. Okay, cool. Who are they probing and how bad does it hurt? That's what I want to know. I want to know, like, what's the outcome?
Yeah.
And this, it's the whole climate for everything right now feels like, I tell my wife every day right now, I feel like I'm in limbo. Like, I don't know which way's up.
Yeah, it is a very interesting spot right now, because especially with all derivatives being traded and being set up to be traded. But I do think that the technology alone is something that's going to be... The technology can't be stopped because it's an open source protocol. So, like, really, that can't be stopped. But yeah, it's an interesting spot. I think of the same things you're talking about, where, like, I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. But I do believe in the technology, and I kind of believe in the community, so I'm optimistic about it.
Well, I guess my point is, like, you know, if these guys are going to manipulate the market so that it goes down, 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 so they continue buying themselves in, without public support, they don't have shit. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like, look, a lot of people that came to crypto in 2017 and towards the end of that bull run into January, it's a lot of new people that got screwed hard because they came in ignorant. They read something somewhere. They decided to buy in on Coinbase or otherwise. And then everybody manipulated the market so that the market would take a shit on all these new people who are now bruised and battered and worried and concerned. A lot of people have lost money. They've sold at a loss. They're looking for answers. I mean, you know, even people that bought Ripple. You know, I've been talking recently in a couple of videos about everybody that bought into Ripple when it was like $2. They saw it rise and they're like, yeah, it's going. And then it took a huge shit and then another one and another one. And it was like, you know, along with everything else in the market. And so all those people got burned. And so that's the question, is how far do you want to push this market down so that you have a solid buy-in before it's too much, before everyone else is like, you know what? And I believe in the technology too. That's what got me into it. But enough is enough already. You know, they're just, you can't, I don't know, this kind of suck everybody in, suck all the life out of them, and then spit them back out with a bunch of fat cats sitting there patting themselves on the back is bullshit. And that stuff pisses me off to the point where I just, you know, start a campaign to write letters to all these assholes and tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, I'm kind of glad that the CFTC is looking into things about the price manipulation. Because, like, you got to wonder, with Charlie Lee selling all of his Litecoin when it was at 250 or whatever it is, and then predicting a 2-year bear market. And then, Roger Ver with his insider trading on Bcash being listed on Coinbase. It makes you wonder with, like, all this stuff. And plus, I didn't go to Consensus. I just went to that event there. But I was talking with some people there, and they're like, I never realized how manipulated it is. Like, how it's just like an inside job. And I think a lot of it is right now because it's the Wild West, because it's unregulated. But in the next few years, I would think definitely by 2020 or 2021, we're going to see a much different picture of it. But it's just kind of holding on till then and not really worrying too much about it.
The thing of it is that now that the SEC has come out and said that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, it's not illegal to manipulate. It's not illegal to pump and dump. If it's not a security, it's free game. So that kind of concerns me a little bit, you know, in the sense that they're just tokens or currencies or what. I don't even know what the hell they're considering them if they're not securities, which I'm not necessarily complaining. But it's like, it was kind of a shock in a sense, because people are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum for speculative reasons. Like, there's no question about it, even though there might be utility, even though, you know, whatever the case. But, moving on, I guess. I don't know. I read so much of this stuff, and it's been difficult for me because, you know, I don't even know what to talk about. Well, you know, there's just not a lot of positivity, and I just hate doing shit.
Because they're so short-sighted in cryptocurrency right now. Like, do you even remember the news that was happening in crypto last week? I don't either. Because it's just like, really, everything changes within a day or two. And I think it's that short-sightedness that people are forgetting. Like, yeah, things may change. I got into cryptocurrency knowing full well that everything could go to zero, and I assume that risk. But on the other hand, like, it's only 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And really, most cryptocurrencies are less than a year old. Like,
Right.
really at their infancy. So things are going to change. I don't know for sure where things are going, but every few years, Bitcoin goes up by another order of magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I was just reading an article today from 2014, and it was like this thing, because it was involved in that whole whatever hashtag things going around on Twitter about the Bitcoin time machine with Satoshi in the block and whatever that big thing is.
But, I haven't seen that Bitcoin time machine.
Oh my gosh, we'll talk about this in a second.
I did read something on Reddit a while back about a guy claiming to be a time traveler, and he was like telling everybody what was going to happen.
So that's what I read. It was from 2014, and the guy was saying how Bitcoin would be $10,000 in 2017, and then $100,000 in 2019, and $1 million in 2021. And he just says that every couple of years it goes up an order of magnitude, and it's pretty much done that throughout its whole history.
Sure.
But this new thing that happened recently was this block that has a couple extra hashes in it, a couple extra zeros in it, which would just make either quantum computers need to exist, or it would be like a 1 in 17 decatrillion years for that hash to be produced. I don't know. It's something ridiculous. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I've been reading it, but basically either Satoshi Nakamoto time travels or quantum computers exist.
I thought a quantum computer did exist.
Yeah, I think 3 do. I think NASA has one. CERN. Yeah. And
I don't think they're going to use it to hack crypto, but then again, you never know.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere that said, and I can't remember the correlation, but they were talking about the very beginning of cryptocurrency. It was around the time that CERN had just done something. I don't remember what it was, but I would have to look it up. But somehow crypto is related to CERN.
Dude, it's so interesting. I just read this really good book on cryptography called The Code Book. And it's so...
I have that book.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing book, because it just outlines everything all the way up to asymmetric cryptography, which is basically everything that cryptocurrencies are based off of. And like Diffie and Whitfield Diffie, something like that. Basically, he invented the asymmetric encryption. It's a really good book. And it also talks about quantum computing in there. So yeah, quantum computers could exist, but it's just so tough.
That Ethereum and BTC are not securities, my understanding is that they will be considered commodities like gold and oil. Maybe. I don't know. That was a comment in chat.
Well, they call Bitcoin the digital gold. That would make sense.
And it is, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, here's the thing. In the grand scheme of things, you know, like I had talked yesterday, I think it was yesterday in a video that I put out, where I basically told people I sold my Bitcoin. Like, and I've always said from day one, even though I'm all about crow your coins, I have not sold any of my altcoins. And some people are posting shitty stuff in my comments, like, now I feel like I need to get out. You getting out, I'm getting out. And then you know, you just said you would never sell. And I'm like, no, I've told everybody since day one, I will swing trade, buy, sell my Bitcoin. That to me is more of a utility thing and something that I'll buy back in. I believe the market's I believe Bitcoin's gonna hit $5,000. So I sold it at 7,500 and I can buy back in whenever the hell I want to. And so, you know, but at the same time, my wife and I are building a house that's going to be done in September. And I didn't want to just leave all this shit sitting on wherever it was, you know? So I took it and that's it. And so, you know, but I haven't sold any of my alts. I have every altcoin I bought and, or received or whatever. So, you know, but I think that it's probably, something's telling me that it might take, I don't know. It's so frustrating. The technology is one thing, man, but to kind of get a grasp on where this train is heading with the SEC, the futures markets, all the regulation, just everything going on that we didn't have last year.
Nope. And then also the Ethereum and the Litecoin futures they're talking about. Yeah. Derivatives are a crazy monster. Like I just interviewed idap.io today, and I'm going to be posting that later this week. But they have a whole derivatives trading platform, And like if you think about it, derivatives are like 80% of what's traded in terms of current like traditional markets, whereas in crypto it's only like 5 or 10% right now. So like there's going to be huge growth in derivatives for people who just don't want to own cryptos, and we've seen the effect that derivatives like the Bitcoin futures have on Bitcoin price. Because first everyone goes long on it, Bitcoin goes up to 20 grand, then everyone shorts it all the way down to zero, and now we're seeing the effects of that.
The thing of it is, though, is that once you start expecting those patterns, they're not going to work the same way the next time around.
Well, I can't wait for that to happen so we can stop having the, the whales pump and dump the Bitcoin as well, and the futures.
Yeah. What's your favorite coin right now outside of Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Neo, definitely. I'm a huge fan of the Neo ecosystem. Like, I'm very partial to it because Neo was like one of the first ones that I made a pretty good gain on. Like I heard about it being the Ethereum of China back when it was ant shares, so I bought a good amount of it, and then it did go up quite a bit, but
it's like $190, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was doing really well back in like December, January. Now it's pretty much the lowest it's been since it rebranded to Neo. But I still think what they're doing to build this whole
I originally got somebody in Neo at $30, and it hasn't touched that since. So
yeah,
getting close.
Yeah, it's getting close. But yeah, it's all. I think the ecosystem is awesome. Like people say, the downside is that it's somewhat centralized, and yes, that is somewhat true. I'm not going to try and negate that, but the centralization gives them direction, and being how they're kind of almost endorsed by the Chinese government. They have partnerships with the Chinese government. They have partnerships with stuff all over. And also how the dApps that are built on Neo, so all the projects on Neo, they're legitimate projects. It's not like Ethereum where probably 1 out of 5 is a scam or a Ponzi scheme or cash grab, whatever. With Neo, every project, they have to put up more money to be run on Neo, but because of that, they're legitimate projects. And
it's kind of like Apple to PC.
Exactly.
You consider Ethereum PCs where everything kind of goes, and then you got the Apple where it's only the best shit that you're going to find. Exactly. I get it. I love Neo myself. I still don't own any personally. And I want some. I do. I had some, and I forget when I sold it. I think I had 30 of them, or maybe 15. Maybe I only got like 15 for myself, and I sold them at like $1.50, I think. Yeah. So I mean, I made a profit on it, but I sold it for a very specific reason. I just can't remember what the hell it was at this point.
Well, probably because it wasn't going to get much higher. But that's the thing. Like the one thing, like I think a lot of people in crypto get very attached to certain cryptos, and myself included. Yeah, myself included. I get very attached to certain ones. But the thing is, that's not like
straight through the floor into hell.
Yeah, it's not a trader's mentality to have, because like a true trader, someone who actually profits from it, their rule number 1 is never lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. Right. And so they're just, they just will buy whatever as long as it makes them a profit, and then they sell out.
Yeah, everybody's gonna think I'm all coked up right now because my nose is itching. But
I'll help out too.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what it is. As soon as I get down here, I start shooting, and I don't know.
Yeah, good pregame, man. Good pregame.
Yeah, right. Shit. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't remember what the hell we were just saying. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Neo. No, everything that I see that comes out on Neo is pretty solid, and I keep talking about it. I just don't own any. But it's like, I feel like things are going to continue going down. I might get back in at $30 if I just wait it out.
Yeah, dude. There's so many cryptos.
Like I just included that in a video recently where I talk about video in one of my top 5 picks. To like, if you bought Bitcoin at $20,000 and you lost your ass, you can make that money back by getting into these 5 altcoins. And
yeah,
everybody seems to really dig it. And I crunched some of the numbers out and everything, and makes a lot of sense. And Neo's one of them. Like I am going to be picking up a solid chunk of Neo when I think the time is right.
I saw that video. That was a good one. Because you were talking about like Icon and Cardano also. and you said you like Cardano. Like Cardano is one of your top ones.
Oh, dude, I love Cardano.
Dude, they're doing a lot of development, and it's like the cheapest it's pretty much ever been since November.
Probably ever will be. It's gone down to about 14 cents, like at the low of the market crash, and then it bounced right back up to like 30 something real quick.
Yeah.
So you know, but I'm supposed to be interviewing Charles Hopkinson at some point.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit to ask that man.
Yeah,
I'm
make
just
sure
gonna
you
have to
ask
try
him.
and
Make sure you ask him
control
when
a little bit.
Lambo.
When Lambo, yeah. You know, dude, I do love Cardano, man, and I hope to God, I'm thinking, man, just 20 bucks, just get to 20 bucks for me, you know. So I don't know, we'll see.
Well, so anyways, Cardano is one of them that because like these projects that come out that really don't have an ICO but are good projects. So Cardano was one of them. Ontology was one of them. You can make good returns from them. HashGuard is one that I just interviewed the other day. They're also probably not going to have an ICO, but having an airdrop. And all their whole team is the people from Fenbushi Capital.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be one.
I'm not familiar with those guys.
Yeah, take a look because they're just. I'm not even sure if they're going to have a public sale, but like, because I saw Cardano also early, and I was like, hey, this is a huge project, like Ethereum Classic team and academics and everybody, no ICO, and then also Ontology, pretty much partnering with Neo, no ICO. Both of those did well afterwards, so this is one that I'm keeping my eye on at least.
Ontology, as I understand it, or basically a bunch of people that left the Neo team to start Ontology, and now they're finally kind of working together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I found that pretty interesting because I wasn't aware of that. I just like Ontology. There's so many freaking coins, man. Like every day, it's like, how you know, to try and keep up with all of them, it's like impossible.
Totally impossible. And that's why you can't fault yourself for not owning some. Like you were saying you don't own Neo. There's a lot of coins that I don't own just because it's like, how much money do you have to spend on crypto?
Right. And well, not a lot when you're trying to build a house. My altcoin point, I probably have, I'm guessing 70 altcoins. That's my guess.
So as soon as we have another altcoin bubble, you're going to be freaking loaded.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. Like I joke all the time about like security and everything, but I have all that shit locked up. Like it would be such a process for me to like sell any of them that it's kind of my way of just making sure I don't.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. That's a really good thing because then you're not susceptible to these exchange hacks. Like people who leave their cryptos on the exchange. Fortunately, BitHum decided to reimburse the people for the 30 million they lost, but like on most exchanges they may not do that. So having it locked up, I do the same thing. Like I have my stuff on cold storage device, not kept at my house. I have recovery keys in separate locations and separate areas, and it's just like, yeah, just security is a thing. So if somebody comes and holds a gun up to my head, I'd say like, sorry, I can't help you. You can come with me to the secured location
down the street,
to go retrieve it.
Holding that gun on me.
Yeah.
Honestly, since that hack, I spent a good solid month, man, where I was just paranoid as all hell. You know, you should see my passwords, dude.
That's good.
Like, stupid. Like, it's such a waste of time, but it's not, because it's, you know, they say you're not really paranoid if they're actually after you, right? And that's kind of how I feel. Like, I just got a notification that one of my accounts somebody was attempting to hack that. I'm like, go for it, dude. There's nothing in there, you jackass. But, you know, whatever. I mean, some of these guys, man, they're, I just, man, like, I would love to, like, talk about all the stuff that I've done for security, but, you know, I watched what were we just watching? We were watching a movie where, like some guys broke into a surgeon's house, and his like while he was at work. It was a Bruce Willis movie, Death Wish. That's what it was. We just watched that on demand, and some douchebags go in and break into his house to try and steal his money and everything, and they end up killing his wife, and you know, beating his daughter up real bad, almost killed her, and he just turns into a vigilante. And you know, and I'm thinking, man, you know, if somebody broke into this house, I don't think they would get out. Like they just wouldn't. Like, we're all going out if somebody is. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we had a question, Crow. What's your opinion of what Cliff High said about Cardano on your interview with him? You know, here's the thing, Cliff, in my opinion, have you talked to Cliff High yet?
I haven't, but everyone says he's an absolute genius, and I saw you did the interview with him.
He's a smart guy, but I found myself just nodding my head in agreement, even though I did not really agree with a lot of what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like and it's like he probably looks at me like I'm just some dumb YouTuber, right? And I almost feel like he's one of those people that might be too smart for his own good, in the sense that I think that he aware that things have changed a bit, you know, since a lot of this stuff. Like I like him, don't get me wrong, and I'm not meaning like talk shit about him, but there was just comments that he would make, and I'm just like, where did you read this? Like, where did that come from? I know that's not, but he had this way about him where I did not want to challenge him on anything. And I was even warned by people beforehand, like, don't challenge him, dude, because he'll go ape shit on you. And I've never seen that happen in any videos, but I would crack little jokes to kind of like bubble things up a little bit. And I could almost tell he was thinking like, you fucking idiot, like in his head. Like he didn't say that, but yeah. So anyway,
yeah, there are just a couple of people who carry that type of like demeanor with them, where you just don't want to disagree with them. Like Tone Vase is another one. I saw him speak at a couple conferences.
He's pretty stern, yeah.
Oh my gosh, because he is just all about Bitcoin and everything else is a piece of shit. And anyone who says anything, like they had him on a panel at the Blockchain Economic Forum about ICOs. So everybody's asking questions about ICOs, and he would steal the microphone every time and be like, every ICO is an absolute piece of junk. It's not going anywhere. It's worthless. They're just trying to steal your, like every single time. And it's fun to watch him talk, definitely.
Here's the thing. I will say, though, that a big part of why I sold at 7,500 was because of the Tone Vase. Like his technical analysis is pretty solid, man. I mean, no bullshit.
Yeah.
And if I had half the skill he did in TA, I would be making so much more money.
Oh yeah, like, he's got to be making a killing.
You know, but what kills me is every time he keeps talking about Ethereum's going to be worth nothing, and I'm like, dude, there are way too many companies out there, you know, that are a part of the Ethereum blockchain for Ethereum to be nothing. Like it's too late,
too big
in my opinion, to make those kinds of predictions. Like you should have, like that kind of shit was happening when Ethereum was new. And everybody was saying a lot of the same shit, and it's just I just don't. Yeah. But I like Tone Vase. Like I would be down. Like I want to learn. You know, I'm just not a seminar person. Like I wish he would just launch a damn Udemy course like the rest of us. And but he's really good, and so is that Filicode. I had a bunch of people tell me about that guy. He looks like he's 13, but I think he's like 35.
Damn.
And he's really damn good with his technical analysis, and he'll challenge himself every day. He'll be like, all right, here's my $1,000 trading challenge of the day. And then he'll like videotape, he'll stream live while he's making trades and charting shit out.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Just a reminder for anyone on my channel, if it seems like the audio is not synced up, it's because we just had to rig this thing to make it work. So there's a link down in the description. You can watch it on Cryptochrome channel. The audio is synced up, or you can just close your eyes, listen to it, you know, relax in bed, that type of stuff.
Just close your eyes and imagine that beard.
Yeah.
I'm getting dropped frames, and I guarantee you, well, I don't even want to look because I'll screw something up. Every time Windows forces one of their shitty updates on me, my video feed drops, and I never know until afterwards because it could just happen at any minute.
Yeah, well, your video feed's working fine now because that's what I'm looking at.
It is?
It's up on my channel, working fine.
Well, maybe your delay is offsetting my drop frame, so it all works out. Let's see here. Crypto Love is awesome. Yes, he is.
Cool, thanks, dude.
Good dude. You know, and I've talked about you in the past on the video. And you really, like, when I first met you, dude, like, your energy was just kind of like, let's go drink. Like, let's just go hang out. Like, fuck all this stuff. Let's just have a good time. Yep. And, you know, you weren't there. I won't say who, but there are a couple people there that I thought they really think their shit doesn't stink because they've been in this stuff for a little while. Yeah. And that kind of personality does not, if anything, I kind of keep to myself until somebody approaches me, unless I'm drunk. When I'm drunk, I'll work a room. But outside of that, I'm like a wallflower, dude, because I'm giant. I'm afraid of accidentally crushing little people, and so I just stay out of shit.
Man,
But you meet some cool people, and you were definitely one of them. And I can't remember the dude's name, but there's that other that really tall dude. He was like 6'5", and he said everybody on YouTube thinks he's me.
Ready, Set, Crypto?
Is that who it is?
I think so. Blondish hair?
Yes.
Yeah. Ready, Set, Crypto.
Yeah, kind of a deep voice.
Uh-huh.
Ready, Set, Crypto. I have to look him up because I completely forgot. Nobody carried cards. We're all YouTubers.
Right? Yeah. So I was meaning to ask you, because we talked about Neo, we talked a little bit about Cardano, although I don't think you answered the question for the person on your channel yet. I want to know what you think about EOS.
I don't have any, and I have no intentions on buying any.
Yeah? I have very mixed opinions about it. Very mixed bag. There was a report today. China released their new cryptocurrency rating system, and EOS was number 1. Ethereum number 2, Neo number 3, and then Stellar and Lisk were 4 and 5. Right?
I'll let that delay kick in for you. I mean, as far as EOS is concerned in my book, I kind of...
I'm just seeing that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I figured it'd take you a couple seconds. Look, I see all this stuff about EOS, right? And it's like, I understand, but as far as I'm concerned, I already have Ethereum. And, I don't see EOS being a big killer. And that was one thing that Cliff High was talking about. Now, obviously, Cliff High hates EOS, with a passion that I've never seen. You would think EOS came over and, touched him in bad places in the middle of the night and, lied about it or something. He's super... And Brock, he hates Brock, and I'm just like, man, I get it. I get here's the thing. As a technology, I separate the technology from the person in a sense, right? In the sense that if a bad person creates something that does a lot of good for the masses, okay, well, I'll still sock you in the jaw if I see you in person and you approach me, but your technology is cool. And if it's helping a lot of people, more power to it. But I've always had some underlining feeling about EOS, and I never knew any of the backstory. I never knew any of the personal details or any of that stuff. It was just something that I never felt compelled to be a part of for any reason. Mm-hmm. That's it.
And they kept it in such obscurity. They made it so you couldn't find out information about it. It was just this big secretive project with a year-long ICO, raised $4 billion. And then after that, the launch wasn't that impressive. It took 2 weeks for them just to be able to activate the blockchain. And then they had to shut it down a couple days afterwards. But I don't know, we'll see how it turns out.
I assume how much do you hold? A lot?
Not a lot, but I bought back when I got into crypto with the altcoin bubble back in May, June of last year. EOS was one of the first ones I saw where it was decentralize everything. That sounds awesome. And it was 50 cents back at the time. So I bought a good amount then, and I was just holding on to it.
And there's no shame in that. It's one of those things that, every night, I should do videos at 3 a.m. because I would be so much more clear-headed. I'm such a night person. I don't even, my mind doesn't even turn off till the sun goes down.
Well, you got to figure that's the middle of the afternoon in China somewhere.
Right, yeah. Well, I still have sun blasting through and the world is still active. So it's almost like when the rest of the world goes to sleep, I wake up and everything kicks into high gear. Mm-hmm. And but I think that I feel like everything happening right now is I almost feel like the entire crypto space right now is in beta. I feel like everything that's coming out, everything that's being launched, worked on, everything else, I feel like it's a beta test. Mm-hmm. And that things are going to get real serious when the current multi-billion-dollar corporations start putting their cards on the table And that's when I feel like we're going to hit the true, you know, because it's like we have all these little projects, all these little ICOs all over the place that are trying to decentralize every service on the planet.
Right.
And so, and as that's happening, we're basically funding, you know, the evolution of this kind of internet 3.0. But I feel like everything is trial and error. You've got a bunch of people with a bunch of dreams. They throw a white paper together, they get some money, they try their hand, and win, lose, or draw, we continue to take steps forward. And I feel like everything that's happening right now, it's just one big beta test. So companies like EOS, and any of them for that matter, you know, there's no telling. I think there might be 20, 25 of them that stand the test of time and actually accomplish fantastic things in the long term that make the people holding those coins ridiculously wealthy. And like everybody else says, the vast majority of them are probably just going to go into the toilet. And, you know, but the lessons will have been learned, and those lessons will have taught the people that come after with the real legitimate big projects to do very well. But you know, I could be wrong about that. I mean, we could have more successful companies out there that do well. But like Tron, I like Tron. Justin Sun sounds like a genius, sounds like a brilliant marketer, you know, doing some interesting things, I guess you could say. I kind of get the grand picture, the grand scheme. Everybody asks me, like, what do you think of Tron? I don't know what the hell to think of Tron. Guys all over the place. Like, we just have to wait it out and see.
Totally. Yeah. But I agree with you. There's totally going to be a shakedown, and really it's only going to be the best projects that make it out of it. So trying to figure out what those best projects are and just be on board with them for the ride out of it. But you're talking about, like, the big businesses. I was watching some World Cup yesterday, and I saw an advertisement by IBM that, like, IBM supply chain, or like the best supply chains are powered by IBM blockchain. Go figure. So they're already getting their hands in there.
Yeah, but aren't they part of Stellar? So
they don't say Stellar blockchains though.
Huh?
They don't say Stellar blockchains.
Yeah, well, IBM's got a hell of a lot of money, man. They can make them say whatever.
Yep.
You know, I mean, if I partner with somebody, especially if I'm partnering with them in any significant way, and I'm going to basically build you, it's kind of like you adopt a child. The kid might not be yours, but you're taking my last name.
And I'm downloading all my point of views on you, kid. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. You're going to learn today.
Yep.
PundyX will be $10 into this year. We'll see. We'll see. I do like PundyX though. A bunch of people on my Telegram were just blowing me up constantly for weeks now.
Yeah, they got a lot of popularity. They got a lot of announcements. They're like going to be listed on Binance, and they had the partnership with Utrust today. So they got a lot of stuff going on. And
Utrust, Utrust better do some shit soon. I want to see them go up.
Yeah, anything with the name Trust in its name makes me question its trustworthiness. You know?
You know, I've thought of that too. I'm like, what a cheesy ass name. But, you know, look at PayPal. I don't know. I guess it's, in a way, it's kind of a cute name. You're going to pay your pal through their platform. Definitely. Guys, what's your opinion on VeChain and Icon? Icon, I'm huge on. I love Icon. VeChain, my personal opinion, sounds like it's doing very well, but I've never really dove that deep into it. What's your thought? I think VeChain is going to do well because they have a lot of connections in Asia, doing a lot with supply chains. They have VeChain Thor coming out sometime soon, and apparently they haven't found any bugs on that yet, which worries me. So like Sonny Liu, the CEO of VeChain, he's like, we haven't found any bugs on VeChain Thor yet, so we're going to double our bug bounty right now. And doubling it, it's only at $20,000. So I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be more lucrative for someone to not reveal the bugs and then just hack the system afterwards, steal hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, then reveal bugs now for 20 grand? But that being said, I think VeChain does have good partnerships, good supply chain stuff. I think they could do well. My guess would be in a situation like that, that they've already done an audit. They've already done, I'm sure, a slew of security audits, and it's their way of basically throwing some money out there to say, go ahead and give it your best shot. You know, we already know we're pretty secure, so. Yeah. But also Icon, I think is going to be huge. Like that's the cryptocurrency for South Korea, which is one of the biggest proponents for blockchain technology, period. Right. Yeah, Icon is one of those that you know, I got some friends into at 11 cents, and I didn't have the capital at the time to get in myself, so now I have to buy it like the rest of the world at higher prices.
Mm-hmm.
Feel real bad about that.
Yeah.
But I do. Icon's another one I plan to pick up here before things start carrying on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tron, 1 billion coin burn. Any thoughts? I said that was likely to happen a long time ago. Everybody told me I was a retard. Everybody like yelled at me when I was like, yeah, Tron will likely end up figuring out ways to burn some coins, and everybody's like, they're not. He already said it'll never happen, and this and that. I think I said the same thing about Cardano too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's giant. I mean, they have billions and billions of coins. They got to burn some of them. And just a reminder for the lag on my channel, it's just because we had to rig this thing, so you can watch on Crow's channel. Descriptions down in the, or links down in the description. Cool.
Crypto Fiend, let me hear your take on Crowd Machine and Pixio Chain, big man. I already have. There are videos down there in the playlist. What are your thoughts?
Me, I don't had Crowd Machine. I had a hard time kind of understanding. I even saw the CEO speak, and I had a hard time understanding it. And then Pixio Chain, I don't know much about.
To be quite honest with you, it's been a while, and I've read so much shit since then. I don't even remember all the details of either one of them.
Dude, it's hard to remember stuff.
I think I liked both of them, though, as projects, but I can't remember them in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Being most projects started in an inflated market, do you think this will be a factor in future pricing? Well, yeah, I'll let you go ahead with that one.
Well, I mean, right now most of the market caps that we have are just made up money. It's not like that much money actually came into the crypto market. It's just a lot of made up money. I mean, just look at any Bitcoin fork. Something forks off of Bitcoin and automatically has tens of millions of dollars of value, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of value. So I think that's part of it. Also, there's a paper published last week about how Tether has been artificially inflating the price of Bitcoin. And so I think that's...
But I don't think that's really I think that's bullshit. I really don't. I think it's bullshit. I think it's people that they're using Tether because they don't... Where can you swing trade using fiat currency? Tether is the only alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got people making swing trades against Bitcoin and Tether. Yeah. I did it. I mean, I use Tether on bot trading sometimes. Like, you know, a lot of people are using it as a utility more than anything else. And so, and, you know, I even mentioned this last night. People are up in arms like, okay, what if it's not all 100% backed by fiat? Who gives a shit? The banks loan us money all the time at interest they don't even fucking see. They have none.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's cryptocurrency. It's like everybody, this is the problem everybody has. Don't even get me started, man. Don't get me started. No, like, I feel like everybody in the crypto space is doing a lot of the same shit the entire financial institution has been doing since the beginning of frickin' time. But because the financial institution has taken it up the rear and they know that their days are numbered, it's like, they're drawing all these questions and they're lobbying for this and they're sending their attack dogs this way and every which way. And it's like, you know, fight it all you want. You're just going to get more beat up as you hit the floor. Like, that's the way I look at it. But yeah, I don't really care if Tether's backed by anything. And maybe that sounds ignorant. Maybe it is. Maybe there are reasons why it absolutely should or must be. But they showed, look, we had more in fiat capital than we had Tether tokens in circulation at this particular point in time. Whether or not that remained the case, they didn't show that. But, you know, I don't really give a shit. It's a utility to get in and out of a cryptocurrency. That's not a security, so it doesn't freaking matter.
You make a good point. You make a good point. See, you could argue up there with the likes of Tone Vase and Cliff High. Just anyone ask you about Tether, and boom, that's it.
I mean, that's just the way I look at it. You know, I could be wrong. Thoughts on Dragon Chain? I was very bullish on Dragon Chain. Still kind of am. I like Dragon Chain a lot.
Yeah, they have their whole incubator program, and I just saw they released an update. I forget what it is now, but they did just release an update that I was somewhat enthusiastic about. Yeah, so I would say wait and see.
Wait and see. Like everything is... You know,
right now, everything is wait and see.
Right, it is. Well, I've had people on my channel bitch at me in the chat, like, everything you've talked about since you started your channel's down. And I'm like, are you for real?
Yeah.
Did you just start watching these videos 2 weeks ago because you heard the word Bitcoin and decided, like, how did you even find me? When is Cryptochrome doing that TV show? It's already started, folks. It started 2 weeks ago. It airs Monday nights on Tough TV. And actually, I didn't even really talk much about it, but I got another TV deal.
Yeah.
They're waiting on me to sign the papers. Look at another 159 million homes.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're willing to give me, they want me to sign. So basically it's, they wanted me to do a full year deal. And I'm like, I'm not doing a full year anything right now. I'm like, well, I'll sign something through the first of the year. That gives you 6 months. Let's reevaluate where things are in 6 months. But they're on all apps, all platforms, everywhere, including like, I think like actual television market. They're in about 59 million homes on television. And then everything else is on all the other platforms and everything. So, but I have not signed that paperwork yet, but I probably will. I'm probably going to be editing those episodes myself, and it's going to be weekly. And they said I could do a half-hour show, hour show. I'm like, well, if I did an hour, you'll be able to listen to me bitch more often instead of like making everything so clean cut. So,
yeah.
But
dude,
then I'll be able to,
awesome.
if I do an hour, I'll be able to like cut like this kind of stuff up too and make episodes out of it, which I want to be able to do. So,
yeah, isn't it crazy how much editing you have to do and everything with YouTube? It's nuts.
Dude, I'm lazy as hell, man. I don't have the time to edit all my videos. Like I work it out so that I record everything in little modules, little segments, throw them on a thumb drive, take them to the other room to the editing computer, and I just drop them into my template and I export it. Like I don't sit here and cut out every fart, burp.
Oh yeah, keep them.
I don't have time for that. I'm a big dirty ogre. I would be editing all day.
That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Yeah, so how do people find out your show right now? It's on Tough TV, you said?
Yeah, toughtv.com. They actually gave me my own page and segment or whatever. It airs actually Mondays and Tuesdays. So it airs prime time at 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights, and then it airs again. I think it's like 3:30 or something like that on Tuesdays.
All right.
Awesome. So, yeah, and that's a man. There's so much stuff. Like I want to handle more. I want to there's more that I want to do in terms of like monetizing the opportunities and all that other stuff. But man, as one person without a big old team, it's just really difficult. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Crypto love as positive about Cardano as you are?
Yeah, especially right now. I'm pretty darn positive about Cardano. Like, it's I mean, it definitely when it was up at 150, I was like, holy cow, that's way too high for what it is. Especially because they didn't have much development, much partnerships going on, but they've done a lot more in the past few months. And down where it is at like 15 cents, yeah, definitely very optimistic about it. Also, they're working, I think, with like Siren Labs on their phone. So that's like a legitimate project that's going to be out sometime soon. And when that comes out, everyone's going to basically be using Cardano on their Siren Labs phone.
That'll be nuts. Cryptochrome, what can you tell us about Peculium? I don't know anything about Peculium.
Dude, same here. I got people asking about that too. I know nothing about it, but I guess that means look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
Encash. I did a big video about Encash. I actually bought, I don't remember how many I bought, like 60,000, I think, or 30. I don't remember. Yeah. I bought a bunch of Encash.
Yeah. It seems like a very legit project. They just, it's one of those things where like a lot of ICOs explode post ICO. That one just didn't really explode, and other things did. Like it came out the same time Zilliqa came out, and Zilliqa shot up, and that just kind of stayed the same. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that stuff, obviously everybody knows I do a lot of paid ICO reviews, and a part of what I do and a part of what I take into account with some of these ICOs is how they're marketing themselves. And, because anybody can pump up their numbers and get a bunch of fake Telegram bots. I just talked about one recently, man. I'm like, dude, all their social media is fake. Like you know, I don't know if you watch any of my paid reviews. Like some people that aren't familiar with my paid reviews will bitch about the fact that I do them, and then they'll watch one and they'll be like, "Oh, now I get it." Because I'll shit all over an ICO. I don't care if they paid me a Bitcoin or not. Like, especially if I think you're shady or I think you're up to something, I'll take your money and tell the world you suck. and it's like, because everybody should know. Everybody knows by now. Like, this is how I roll. Like, you pay first, then I put in the work, and if I don't like what I find, I tell people. So it's kind of a gamble in the sense. So don't pay me to review your ICO if you're expecting it to be a guaranteed positive thing. And
that's a brilliant idea. I think we should spread that to the rest of the YouTubers to just take payments from shitty ICOs and just shit all over them. But
not all of them are shitty. Like Ivy Coin, I love Ivy Coin. They were a paid review. I've invested in some of the ICOs that have come to me for paid reviews. It's not that they're all bad. And some of them I feel like, the metric system that I put together for my paid reviews is pretty decent. It could be a lot more detailed, but I feel like the key points that I look at in an ICO, I don't think it needs to be any more difficult or convoluted than that. It's just kind of, and overall, it's a gut feeling, and it's when you see, well, this is off and this is off and this is off, and the team's a little shady, maybe, which I don't run into many ICOs where I think, okay, this is dog shit. Like, you put your money into this and you're just screwed for life. There aren't many that come to me that I feel are like that. There have been a few, maybe. But I tell everybody, like, this is dog shit. I mean, like, I wouldn't touch this with your money, and that's just all there is to it. And of course they all start, they blow me up and they blow Heather up, like, oh, you screwed us. And, I'm like, no, I didn't. No, you got exactly what you paid for. It just didn't come out the way you were hoping. That's all there is to it. So, and I don't feel bad about it, because the way I see it is like, I've had some ICO reviews, and my whole point even bringing this up is because I'm gonna convert you. The whole thing is I talk to these companies and they want to like sell me on everything. I'm like, I don't want you to talk to me. I don't even want to hear from you. Don't email me. I'm not going to read them. Don't send me your little bullet points. I don't give a shit. If it's not on your website, it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean squat. I'm not going to be running around the internet telling everybody about your bullet points. If it's not here for the world to see, it doesn't exist for me either. And I'm real kind of stubborn, and I'm kind of like Simon, I think, in a way, on America's Got Talent.
That's awesome.
And, but I'm curious, why? So you don't do ICO reviews at all, do you?
I've done a couple, but not really, just because, I don't know, security, who knows. But I've done it, like, IndaHash was the first one that I did that was paid. They paid for me to go to Poland, and I got some tokens from doing that. And it was pretty obvious to know that it was a sponsored review. And also, like, with sponsored reviews, you feel kind of like you should say something about it. But I don't know. I've been having a good time doing interviews recently.
Like, just disclose the fact that it's paid? Just, like, you mean disclosing the fact that people paid you to talk about it?
No, I think it's, like, pretty obvious when you do a paid review, just because, like, doing that, I felt like I had to say certain things about it.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, I know. Listening to you, that's what I'm saying. Now I should just, like, all those shitty ones who contact me, I should just be like, yeah, I'll totally do that. Send me some money, and then I'll just go shit all over the coin.
This is the way I look at paid reviews, okay? Because like, talking to some of the influencers in New York, I had some discussions about this, and I kind of explained my whole philosophy behind it. So there are a lot of newcomers that come into the cryptocurrency space, and those newcomers are being marketed to by these same ICOs that are paying me to review them, right? Now, what happens is I'm being paid for the exposure on my channel. That's the way I break it down. It's the way Heather, everybody, like, you're not paying me to tell the world that you're awesome. You're paying me to tell the world you exist. Everything else is my opinion, and that can't be bought, right? Now, I lay that out very hard, very straight up. They don't like it, they can fuck off. That's all there is to it. Like, you don't have to do anything from here on. But everybody's pretty much told, look, watch some of the other reviews, make sure you know what you're expecting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is, even a lot of these like reviews or these ICOs that people don't necessarily know about yet because they're just getting started. Some of them are very good, even though they have what I would consider a low pulse, but people are just now starting to learn about them. Some of them are not so good. If I don't lay it out there in a real way, then people that are researching their on YouTube or on Google and they're looking for information because maybe they got caught with a banner ad or whatever. And they're looking like, well, I don't know, I kind of like this, but I don't really understand it. Who else has something to say about it? And they find my videos and I'm like, oh, this is, you know, the team kind of sucks and the project's weak and there's 50 others just like it. I don't really see, you know, and I just lay it all out there very bluntly. I consider it a service. And while there are a lot of people out there that, you know, that complain and everything about paid ICO reviews, I totally feel like, you know, if I didn't do them the way I did them, nobody would. And so then you'd have a bunch of hucklebucks all over YouTube that are basically talking, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread and get in now while you can. And you know what I mean? It is because I see some of them. And that's one of the reasons why I got so heavy into paid reviews, because there's so many people out there that'll say anything for $1. And everybody knows you want something real, Crow will tell you straight up, if this is a piece of shit, then that's it. That's it. So awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you, because I think it's good to have more than one person who is out there with varied opinions, and it's okay to be paid for it.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
And on top of that, it gives you more resources to invest in some of the coins that you really like on exchanges that you can also then tell other people about.
Truth. That's a good point. Yeah. So I got some questions.
My case, sir.
you convinced me. All right. So Switcheo, Zebi, and Morpheus Network. I'll ask your opinion of these. I'm positive on all of them. I'd say in order of positivity, I would say Switcheo, then Morpheus Network, then Zebi for me. Switcheo I just did an interview with. They have a super cool NEP5 token exchange, so all NEO token exchanges, as soon as they're out of ICO, they're pretty much able to be exchanged on the Switcheo DEX. Morpheus Network has some cool supply chain stuff. Charlie Shrem's behind them. And then Zebi has like an already working blockchain product in India with like a whole bunch of hotels and hospitality stuff. Those are my opinions. You have opinions of them?
Switcheo rings a bell, but I don't know a lot about it, to be honest. Morpheus Network, I think I liked it. What was the other one?
Zebi. Zebi's like...
Zebi. I know Superman talks about Zebi a lot. I got to be honest with you, man. Like, in my background, some people are going to kill me for saying this. I'm not a racist, folks. I'm not at all.
That's always a great way to start a comment.
Let me just start off by saying this.
Just put your earmuffs on.
Yeah, no. So I've had 3 projects in the past where I hired Indian developers online. Not a single one of them worked out. And so when I see full-blown Indian development teams, I instantly go, because I know how they think. And like, at least it's, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but, and it's like, I love Indians. Like, they're the coolest. My extended family are the people that own the BP down the street. And I'm not kidding. Like, it's like a whole family operation, man. And like, we go up and they're great. But when it comes to development, specifically development, they can be brilliant. But I've had so many bad experiences with Indian development teams that it just kind of gives me pause. That's all I'm saying. So when it comes to Zebi, I'm not saying that these guys aren't capable or great people, and I'm not saying that they're not going to do extremely well with Zebi. But I'm just saying that my first instinct was, I'll look at this later when I have more time. And I just haven't gone back yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's definitely. I mean, it makes sense because I've had similar instances with hiring some people to do stuff online. It seemed like when I was looking at it, seems kind of like the icon of India, but who knows? It has only tanked since it came out.
It has only tanked since it came out.
Yeah, But pretty much everything.
Launching anything in this bear market right now, there's no money.
Yeah.
There's not. It's one thing when money is changing hands constantly. It's another when there's just nothing in the market. Like, what was it? I saw a calculation where it was like for every real $1 billion in the market, it's represented as like 50 billion in market cap. So, like, technically, right now, there's only like 6 billion actual dollars in the market, or 16 or something like that.
I believe it.
Very, very, like, relatively a small amount compared to what the market cap represents as being in existence.
Yeah.
And so, there's not that much money floating around, and a lot of people that are in there right now are just people that have been holding for years anyway.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, because they're the people who had most of the money. Cool.
At Cryptochrome tanks now. Zebi was at 27. Oh, or 21 cents. Gotcha. I'll give you my Cardano prediction for the end of the year. $1. That's Dabo. Dabo's like a friendly troll. He's always got some smart ass thing to say. Because he knows he's in the UK and he's a cop, so I can't reach out and smack the shit out of him. He likes to. He's a good dude though. He actually just saved like a whole bunch of people from dying in a burning building, including a baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's a nice troll, but he's still a troll, a little bastard. Yeah, chat's. I'm not racist, but I'm really not. It's not even. How people are. I mean, there's so many idiots that they'll take one thing you say and then they'll blanket it across it.
Dude, it's the same thing with looking at cryptocurrencies or ICOs. As soon as somebody says they're the first X, I'm like, nope, you're not. I'm fucking done.
Right.
It's just, yeah, you just get used to this stuff.
Yeah, and just so everybody understands, it's like assuming that all tall people play basketball. It's not that you're not against tall people.
You're like a power forward, aren't you?
Huh?
You're like a power forward, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
I'm powerfully forward when I'm drunk.
Awesome.
Bear market is yet to come, says Real Health News. I'm pretty sure he's a little late to the party. Wow. So, like, what else is there? Is there anything else going on? Do you have any projects, anything happening? I feel like I've been talking the whole time and just looking at your beard.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. My beard says thank you. I've been doing a lot of interviews, and I got to say there's a lot of interesting projects coming out. Let's see. HashGuard, I told you about. That one's looking pretty awesome with the Fenbushi team. There's idap.io, which is another one coming out, which has like a whole derivatives trading platform, which I think is going to be pretty big. Crypterium I looked at the other day, and that was shockingly interesting because that is going to... Basically, you can use your cryptocurrency on Apple Pay and Google Pay. I guess it's Google Pay or whatever's on the Android phones, Android Pay. So that'll integrate with that. Those are the things that I've been looking at. And then just, honestly, like buying into things like, personally, Neo and Cardano. Those are the two that I've been putting some resources into while they're low right now. Because I don't know when things are going to...
off of something, I buy into Cardano more.
Yeah. I don't know when things are going to change. I mean, it may change in a couple weeks. It may not change till the end of the year. It may not change for another year or 2 years. Who knows? But when things do, I think those are going to be the things that take off.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely expect Cardano to do well. Brandon Lopez, make this a weekly thing, guys. That's funny. I'm down. I like how Tone Vase and Leah, well, she's a doll face, and he's got a couple other people, and they basically every morning, man, they get up and they're all on Zoom together, and they're just kind of talking about the news and stuff. Where do you do the majority of your research? Like, where do you find out about? Because I know you've mentioned some things in this that I'm like, I haven't even heard that yet. Where the hell have I been?
Yes, so I use CryptoPanic for CryptoPanic.com for finding out news, and you can separate, because like it has all the latest news from a whole bunch of resources, and then people can like upvote it, downvote it, say it's like toxic or really important, and I just sort them by the important ones, and so I use that for my daily news videos, but that seems to work well. Yeah.
This looks like a freaking stock ticker.
Yeah. Yeah, that works pretty well because that's where I get a lot of the latest news. And then just looking at like CoinDesk and Cointelegraph and anything else. Yeah.
This is cool, man.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Crypto Panic.
Yeah, that's really legit.
Legit. It's so funny. Sometimes I say that. One of my old jujitsu buddies, he would talk about everything was legit.
Dude, you did jujitsu?
Yeah, dude, I was in MMA for 6 years.
Oh, crazy, dude! I used to.
I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, I was a fight promoter. I used to do. I started as part of a fight team, and then I started a promotion, and I aired like a fight that I had with another dude who was 6'6".
Damn.
I put it on my channel a couple times. It was kind of funny.
That's awesome. Clash of the Titans.
It's exactly what it was. I called it the Tower of Power. That's what I branded the fight as. 7-footer and a 6'6" dude.
7 feet tall.
It was a lot of height, but it was over in like 35 seconds. So it was like, but yeah, I did that for a while. Now I'm just old and fat. And since I got into crypto, I've gained 20 pounds.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, it's been weight well spent. But yeah, I used to do jiu-jitsu also. That was like the most fun I ever had, but I got my neck all messed up, so now I just have chronic neck issues from that and can't do it anymore.
Dude, I was very active for a while, for 6 years. It's been kind of on and off, man. And I would be sore for like 2 days, 3 days. I'd be all banged up. You know, something overextended or whatever. My biggest thing were getting arm barred. I just wanted to beat the shit out of everybody who arm barred me. The arms are so long.
Yeah.
And once you grab them, it's like, whoa, you know, you can telegraph that shit forever.
Yep.
But man, I went back a year ago, and man, I was up for like a week or two. I would go roll. I'm real aggressive. I don't know if you figured that out yet, but like I'm like competitive in the sense that like I'm going to use every tool I have, and I will pick you up and launch your ass into the air if it means giving me a break, right? Like, because I'm a stand-up guy. I'm more of a Muay Thai type dude. I like elbows, I like kicks and knees and just fucking people up in all kinds of weird ways. I'm not really a jiu-jitsu dude. And I've had these little 5-foot nothing dudes at 135 pounds just submitting me left and right, and it gets frustrating. You just grab them like, "Are you, little bastard?" And you can only do that so many times before you're just wrecked for like a week, where every muscle in your body hurts. And I told my wife, I'm like, I think I'm just too damn old for this shit anymore. I just can't hang out with these little young punks doing this shit.
Yeah. Well, dude, I bet you could throw an elbow from like a mile away.
I have thrown an elbow from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's one of those things like, well, dude, I don't want any trouble. Just let you know, bam, just, you know, and it's done. Like, dude, split up. Yeah, cause I'm not one of those guys who like, hit me. If I feel threatened, you're going to go take a nap before anything else has happened. Like, because you know what I'm saying? Because nowadays I've got a family. If I'm out somewhere and some douchebag with liquid courage is coming up, I know they're going to try something. If they had the balls to come up to me to begin with, I know they're not right in the head. I'm the biggest dude in the bar, and they always count on us big guys not having a clue how to fight. And so, you know, because I've heard it all the time, and I know a lot of big dudes who can't fight for shit. They're just real nice, and they're just giant people. Yeah. And they don't want any trouble. I don't either. But I hit first. Like, I'll go to jail. Like, I'm not risking my life because you're a douchebag. You might pull a knife, or I don't know what your intentions are. Yeah, I'm not that guy to like hit me. Dude, what you got? Hit me.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I particularly don't start fights nowadays, because you never know what people know. Like, after learning jiu-jitsu, you never know what someone's gonna know, and they could just take you out in an instant. But like,
not if you hit them first.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're right, you don't know what people know. Yep. You might have a better ground game than me. I don't really want to find out, so I'm just gonna let you take a nap and walk away.
That's awesome.
You're too slow, Crow. I am a little slow. I will say that. I'm like a giant. I'm a little slow. It'd be like fighting me would be like what's that game? Shadow of the Colossus. People just climbing up, stabbing me in the head.
Oh man, awesome. Cool.
Listen to Dabo. I'll take your back before you blink. Oh my gosh. Well, hey man. we should do this like whenever.
Yeah, awesome.
And preferably without having the audio like not synced up and me.
Yeah, we'll have to sit down one day, see if we can figure it out. Definitely. Yeah, I'm down to doing this again. This was a lot of fun. We could even have like get a few YouTubers together, have like a big party.
Oh, dude, that would be nuts.
Yeah,
I would have to like learn to keep my mouth shut though and let everybody else talk more. Because I get on little tangents, you know. I have to learn how to. Just a heads, Crow. Only 20-something tickets left for World CryptoCon at the current price. Then there's another ticket price jump. Okay, I'm not sure who Nat V Style is. Yeah, are you going to World CryptoCon?
Yeah, out in Vegas in October, Halloween party.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going.
Sweet.
We're gonna celebrate my 41st birthday.
No kidding.
I should say my 31st.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate my birthday out there, and yeah, I'm going, and I've got the referral code in my description. I know that they've started selling a couple more tickets. I'm like, look, man, if we can just get out of this bear market and back into a bull run, let some people make some money, there'll be like 200 or 300 people out there, you know, that you know from the crow's nest, you know, but all right, let's see. I think that's it, man. Yeah, dude, this is cool. I like hanging out with you. So, where are you anyway? Like, where in the world?
Down by Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as you can tell from the beard.
Why would you want a beard like that by Miami, Florida?
I just got really lazy of shaving. I got really, really tired about shaving, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm done.
You know the last time I heard that, you know who it was that said that same shit? Kaczynski.
Yeah, but he lived in like Oregon or something. Different story. He didn't get any sunshine.
If I find you alone in a shack for like days at a time, I'm gonna have some real issues to take up with you.
Totally.
Crypto love, man. Crypto love. Well, it's been a great time, man.
Awesome.
It was a good idea, and glad we did that. We can do this shit anytime.
Okay. Freaking rad. So, and I'm gonna start doing it next time someone comes to the super shitty ICO, I'm gonna be like, yes, I will 100% review it, and just pay me first, and then we'll be good.
Yeah. Do the world a favor. They may not realize it's a favor until later.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And there's no reason why you can't, you know, make some money on your channel. And like, because if you don't talk about them and other people do, and they're blowing smoke up everybody's asses, well, I kind of look at it like you kind of screwed everybody by not just being honest about it. Don't get me wrong, though. I tell them flat out, this is not, I have disclaimers. This does not guarantee a positive review. So take it or leave it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Awesome. Well, thank everybody for joining us. An hour and 17 minutes. That's pretty good.
It flew by. That was awesome.
Thanks. I got a gate for Crow. Now I'm really excited. My day is complete. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys real soon. Crow your coins. Crypto love.
All right. Peace,
subscribe to his channel as well, folks. This dude's incredible.
Thank you.
And I watch a lot of your stuff, too, by the way.
Vice versa, man. Thank you.
See you guys. Have a good day.